Take a bow, Prabhsimran Singh, in an innings where pretty much every other batter has struggled to get going, where he himself had to change his gears from his usual self in the first 10 overs. He smashed a sparkling 100, 65 ball, 103, and almost single-handedly carried Punjab Kings to a total that may help them fight against Delhi Capitals in this must-win game for them to stay alive in the race to the playoffs. On Visit Saudi presents ESPN Cricket 4 T20 Timeout. It's a good evening to Ian Bishop and Amol Muzumdar. You've been here all day. So good evening from my side since I joined in. Lots to dissect about this innings, which really was a one-man show. But we have to start with Prabhsimran Singh. How special a knock was that, Amol, from a young batter who's not had the most runs in the last few games?
Well, I would say it's a special day today for him because hundreds in the T20 game doesn't come quite often, and leave alone this is the biggest stage in T20 cricket, if I may say that. So I think he's come of age, Prabhsimran. 3-4 years back, I first saw him at the NCA, National Cricket Academy. He has come through the ranks of junior cricket, under 19, under 23s from Punjab, and everything paid off today. Just the weightage of that innings has been really special. What Punjab ended up getting, 167, out of which 103 was scored by Prabhsimran. So bulk of the scoring he's done it.
And if you look at his the few knocks where he had caught the eye earlier this season, there was a 60 of 34, a couple of 40s which came in 20 odd balls. That's the template he's been batting, which of course has meant that there have been a few low scores as well. But he had to change that almost entirely today, because in the power play he saw everyone go back to the hut. He was 27 of 31 at the end of the 10th over. To take off from there was special, but even just that recalibration in that first half, a good sign from a young batter, Bish.
Yeah, when you're 22 years old, and Amol knows much more about batting than I ever will, you've got these high-risk guys who bat at the top. You could put Jason Roy, much more experienced World Cup winner, Ramanullah Gurbaz, that type of template guy. So you'll get the ups and the downs with them, particularly when they are 22 years old. But when we saw Prabhsimran, I think we saw him in the UAE a couple of years ago, and he always looked like that guy that you've got to assure him. You've got like a Yash Jha, give him that reassurance that this is how you play. You're going to learn how to ebb and flow in your innings depending on pitch conditions. But we know that if you come right, you'll get something big, and that something big has come tonight. But it's not been a bad season. As you said, 60, 46, 42, 20 odd. Nice young talent.
Reassuring too to see that there was no change in gears or slowing down as he approached what can be a big landmark for a young batter. No slowing down once he was 85 or 90.
No, that was more pleasing to see. Clearly he's got lovely game awareness. He's not thinking about himself, he's just thinking about the team, and also just the audacity of the stroke play that he showed today was something to remember. And it just reconfirms, I'd said this on the show before about a week or two back, and I'd said that this season would be called as a generational shift in Indian cricket. And it just reconfirms in my mind again. There's Prabhsimran Singh coming of age, Yash Jha, they're making inroads in the big league.
Nihal
Vadera, Tilak Verma, exactly. I mean, Madhwal yesterday was fantastic. So it's just that we are on the cusp of that shift.
Take advantage of it, though. You got to take advantage. It can't just be a generational shift in seeing the talent. Now it's time to put utility to the talent and phase it in.
Absolutely. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see when all these names get into the India setup. But my word, that India A setup for the coming year might look like something else. But we have to talk about how Punjab went about this innings, because you removed Prabhsimran, and this could have been a bit of a howling batting effort. Let's start, Bish, from the power play. Did you find it odd to see almost everyone, from Shikhar Dhawan to Liam Livingstone and Jitesh Sharma? I know Liam Livingstone bats a certain way, but the way those wickets were lost, knowing that you did go, I mean, they had batting depth on paper, but you removed that number 3 batter you'd been playing, and you already had Jitesh Sharma batting at 4, so Did the approach of the top 3 or 4 batters in the power play surprise you?
Not necessarily. Shaker tried to whip one to square leg, but I think you can go in, when you look at this pitch, you can go in with the mindset that, the hardness of the ball in the power play is something that we have to try to capitalize on. And the bowling team may not necessarily allow you to do that. Liam will play like Phil Salt. They're spiritual twins. They will play that way in one gear. And Jitish, one slot higher, has been striking the ball well. So I think it might have been an attempt to take advantage of the power play, take advantage of the hardness, because you knew it would slow down a little bit later on. And if you trust your batting depth, then oftentimes, we've seen a few times already this season, 3 wickets in the power play, and teams have still gone on to get a good total. And this, at least up to the half, was a challenging pitch. I don't know what the dew will impact it later on.
That depth is something which, to me, is a little curious with this side. Because on paper, Rashid Dhawan at 9 seems like a luxurious batting lineup. But you start going through those names, and how much cricket have they really played even during this season? Harpreet Brar doesn't bat a lot. Shah Rukh Khan doesn't get a chance to bat a lot. Sikandar Raza hasn't featured a lot, and Rashid Dhawan barely bats or bowls in this setup. So while you do have depth on paper, does this approach seem like a strange way to go, given that those batters haven't had much time in the middle?
Look, you can say that in a way, but that's the way Punjab Kings have played. And I was a little surprised of not seeing Sikandar Raza pushed up.
Up the order.
I was also surprised to see Harpreet Brar being pushed up, and it was a 15th over. Was it 15th? Yeah, 15th over. When you have somebody like Shah Rukh and Raza sitting in the bench, and you've just pushed Harpreet Brar, who is not known for his hitting. And then we saw, if I read it correctly, we saw a message being sent from Shikhar Dhawan to Brar, and he gets out next ball. So it's like, he was asked to up the scoring rate. He faced 5 balls for 2 runs. I think every single ball matters in T20 cricket. Probably. In the pre-show, we had said that we would like Punjab Kings to win. I hope it doesn't come back and bite them.
Yeah, because if those 5 balls go to a Shah Rukh Khan or a Sikandar Raza, who are your finishers, and I know Sikandar Raza has not played a lot, but I don't think he has to prove what he can do at the finish of an innings to anyone. Is this just, again, a case of being a bit besotted by matchups?
Left-right combination was the only reason I could think of sending Harpreet Brar in there. I'm not saying we agree with it, but that's when I saw him walk in ahead of Shah Rukh and ahead of Raza. I thought, they're trying to keep a left-right combination going. Now, that's the only rationale I could come up with. So, yeah, again, sometimes we overthink it instead of thinking about the quality of the batter.
Just to add to that, Jitesh Sharma has been doing so well down the order. Could send Raza up at what number did he bat? 4. I could have, probably seen that change, that Jitesh Sharma would have stepped back and played that finisher's role, which he's been doing to perfection. And Raza getting those number of balls to bat up in the order.
Instead, you saw Shah Rukh Khan and Sikandar Raza come out at 7 and 8. Between them, 11 balls faced. How much will Punjab Kings rue that? It's probably something we'll come back to based on the end outcome of this game. I found another call from the opposite camp, a little
Mukesh Kumar.
Strange. Yes, you pick Mukesh Kumar, who's an all-out bowler. You give him the 19th over, he concedes 3 runs. But how did you view that, Bish?
Yeah, I found it. I was trying to work out in my mind why, if his early overs in previous games were traveling a little bit, he could perhaps, if you consider his death bowling the real strength, he could even have bowled, I think, was it over number 16 that Ishant bowled?
Yeah.
And then had another one later on, 1 over for 3 runs and 1 wicket. It sort of reeks of underutility, to be honest.
And you look at that back 5. The other overs were Ishant conceding 12 in the 16th, Kuldeep going for 12 in the 17th, and Khalil gave 13 and 10 in the 18th and 20th. Surely if you're playing a bowler, got to use him a bit more.
Definitely. I mean, if you're bowling him the 19th over, and that's his first over,
Yes.
Yeah.
he goes for 3 runs
And a wicket.
and a wicket. So obviously he's been underutilized. Again, at times it just doesn't add up. Matchups, we saw in the previous game as well. The 16th over was tossed up to Abhishek Sharma. Matchup between Marcus Stoinis and a left-arm spinner. That was a mindset, probably.
Yeah.
And they chucked it away, I felt.
Quick word, Bish. This chase is almost underway. A quick word on how the Delhi spinners operated and whether that gives Punjab an opening, given that they do have Sikandar Raza playing today, and I do hope that he's utilized with the ball a lot more.
Well, I would assume, since he batted that far down the order, that his off-spin bowling or his spin bowling would come into play. Now, I don't know how this pitch is going to pan out. We've done a few games at the Arun Jaitley Stadium, and it eased up on a number of occasions during the evening. But I think you have to try the spinner, try the slow bowling initially to see how much grip there is.
Right. Both of you gentlemen backed Punjab Kings for the win at the start of this game. Do you stick with that? You do have the benefit of having seen David Warner hit 4s of the first 2 balls of the chase. Still with Punjab, any of you?
I'll stick by my word.
All right.
If I've said something on the show, I'll stick by it.
Hopefully Punjab don't make a Shardul Thakur out of Sikandar Raza. They do use him with the ball. That might be a good chance. Bish, are you leaning towards Delhi now?
No, I'm going to have to stay with mine. I haven't seen overwhelming evidence like the umpire earlier today to change my decision yet.
All right, appreciate the consistency. Let's see how that plays out. We'll be back to see whether Punjab do manage to hold Delhi down in this defense of the 167 that they've posted at the Arun Jaitley Stadium. Big 2 points for them to keep themselves in that playoffs race as we head towards the final week of the league stage action. Everything around that, the points table, where are they, where they could move. Catch up on that on the ESPN Cricket Info mobile app, which you can download at the Play Store and the App Store. We will see you right at the end of this contest on Visit Saudi presents ESPN Cricket Info T20 Timeout.